Well, good morning. It is early on Friday morning and I'm heading over to Naples, Florida this morning to set up for the Naples Downtown Art Fair. It just started to rain. It's supposed to be an absolutely miserable day today, so that should make setup interesting and difficult, I'm sure. I had some last minute packing to do this morning. I have a delivery to make on my way this morning, which is awesome. Some collectors called me up yesterday. They asked if I would be willing to come over the house and drop off some pieces that they were planning on coming to buy. So it's a really good way to start the weekend with a sale before the show even starts. It is just absolutely pouring out here. I can't remember weather being this bad during setup in a very, very long time. And being that my booth location is here on the street, I also really lucked out because there's not that much standing water on the street. There's a parking lot where some booths are across the street from me that is a little flooded, and then there's a bunch of booths in a softball field behind me that is just absolutely a giant mud pit right now. I feel really bad for the artists who are on that softball field. Someone told me there's a truck stuck back there too, which I'm sure is really going to mess up the turf. Someone's not going to be happy about that. And of course, I always have my rain suit with me in the van. You never know when you're going to have bad weather. But I also keep these cool shoe covers with my show stuff too. They're just these great little rubber booty covers that go over whatever shoes I'm wearing, and they keep my feet nice and dry because it sucks to be wet, but wet feet are even worse. And I don't see anyone else with these, so I'll put a link to those in the description of the video. They're really cheap and they're great. It's a beautiful Saturday morning here in Naples. The rain that they had called for this morning never came, so it's actually beautiful and sunny here nice and early, and people are out shopping and buying. I've seen several big pieces go by already, and had a piece of mine sell right off the wall as soon as I opened, so we're off to a really great start here this weekend. Thankfully, they were able to move a lot of people who were in that muddy softball field to other locations, maybe not the most ideal places, but at least they're not in a giant mud pit anymore, and the grass around the softball field is much drier than it was yesterday. Hopefully all the artists here have a really great show this weekend. So here's another quick artist tip too. If you're sitting around in your booth and no one has come in a while and spoken to you or bought anything, start eating your lunch, because people love to come in and bother people when they're about to eat their lunch. Am I right? And of course I never mind. See? So I stopped at Publix on the way back to the hotel and got a sandwich. The deli at Publix has really great sandwiches. And they have a lot of vegan choices too, so it's great for me. A good way to get nice, healthy meal after a show for not a lot of money. I'm staying at the Comfort Inn by the highway here, which, judging by the amount of artist fans in the parking lot here, seems to be the hotel of choice for artists this weekend. You can really tell that this hotel used to be nice. If you saw my video where I ranked the best and worst shows of the year, you might remember that this was my worst show of the year sales-wise last year. But by 10:30 this morning, I had already done 4 times the amount of business than I did in the entire show last year. This show used to be on the main street in downtown, and this year was moved like 2 blocks off of Main Street because of reasons that I'm not exactly sure of. A lot of artists are pretty upset about it. There's a lot of inequality with booth spaces. If you're not on the street or in the little parking lot that's next to the street, those booths aren't getting as much traffic. But I think that's something that they'll work out in the future and make better. The show has a new director this year, an experienced show director, Sue Brown-Gordon, who also happens to be an artist in addition to being a show director. And she was just hired just a few months ago after they made all these layout changes, and I really think that if they allow her to, she's going to make improvements to the layout and the show overall, because these shows are really important to a lot of artists here. Naples has historically been a really great art market for a lot of us artists, so it's really important that these shows are in good hands now. The next day brought some more beautiful weather and decent crowds, although not what many artists are used to seeing in Naples, but a definite improvement over last year. Before I knew it, it was time to pack up the van and head out. Little did I know this would be the last time I pack my van in this way. Make sure you subscribe to my channel to see what happens to my van in the next video.